Thank you so much, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Milan. Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Through this person, I had the euphoric experience of my first book signing, the euphoric experience of my first Instagram interview. As Toastmaster Muhammad and Umairi shared, social media is a necessity for us to be present. The person who actually triggered the thought is Toastmaster, I think. So lovely to see you and thank you for pushing my boundaries further. The first face-to-face book reading with children, which I, as a corporate woman who went to the board for critical decisions, I will tell you, reading for kids is much more petrifying because you end up shaping minds. This person made me experience the euphoric identity of becoming a writer. And I came to know her through the radio interview that went viral in Oman, the press coverage around her initiative, and she is the founder of Oman Book Lovers, who is here to speak about her experience. But to give justice to who she is, I seek your permission to read her background and share it with you. So Anisha has been a headhunter and a networking enthusiast for the last 2 decades, 20 years of an experience. After a thriving career in leadership hiring, specifically assisting multinational organizations with hiring CEOs, directors, for a large part of her career, and at a global level, especially in the oil and gas services. She has decided to move to Oman after a glorious career 2 years ago, so when the pandemic hit the country, unfortunately. But she felt that her passion continues at that time, connecting people and servicing the community. And through that passion, she has rekindled her long-lost love of reading and books, and founded Oman Book Lovers Book Club, an initiative that occupies her now completely. She loves to participate and contribute in society at any capacity, and today she will talk about her activities and initiatives in founding this very successful club here in Oman. Please put your hands together, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for having me today. What a lovely introduction, sir. Thank you. And it's been euphoric for me as well to know you since last 1 month. So, more than a month, I think, since we met. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you once again for having me here. I am delighted to have this opportunity to talk about the Oman Book Lovers Club. Like I always say, it's a baby for me. It's my passion project. So, always a pleasure to get an opportunity to talk about it. So, like she said, I've been a typical corporate rat for a large part of my life. Passed out of MBA, started working, never took a break. And typically, life for me would only be my work. My identity was my profession only. I interviewed CEOs for a living, and that's what my life was all about. Being born and brought up in a family of book lovers, also married to a book lover. So, books have just been a part of my life, just like that. But just to give you a sense of the association of books in our lives is that people typically spend on large parties when their kids are born, or maybe the first birthday. We didn't do that. We directed the entire 2 lakh INR to buying a set of early learning program, which was 150 books and some tab and some reading, a reading pen for her. So that's what my life has been. People, even my book loving family were sure, this is a little bit crazy. You need to give some people a party. It's 2 lakh rupees worth of books for a toddler, 6-month-old baby. I said, yeah, that's it. So that is a little bit about us. I have rooms full of books at my home. My father's library is the only thing that I want to inherit from him. And my grandfather had a library in the basement. So that's how. My sister's house has a library in every room. Even in the living room, there's a main space of a reading corner. So that's the kind of family we are. When I moved here in December 2020, I left my career behind. And I'm not used to sitting at home. I'm used to working 22 hours out of 24, maybe 36 even. So when we moved after pandemic, we were stuck at home and not much to do. We just came with 2 suitcases, not the cargo, so the books hadn't come. And what do you do with a 7-year-old who's chewing your brains constantly? So I started exploring the social media, typically, Facebook groups and discover communities, do some scrolling, start talking to people, find some friends, the usual. And my attention would always land on these typical moms and family Facebook groups with the book selling posts. And it was December 2020. My husband's a healthcare professional, and I'm telling him, oh, let's go buy these books, let's go buy these books. Which are also expensive. You're coming from India, books are very expensive here. Almost 5 times the cost. And then he's reminding me, you've got like lakhs of rupees worth of books sitting home, which will eventually come one day, so don't buy it. And I don't want to go to anybody's house to buy books. So then, over a few days, I thought, I wish I could just borrow, read and return, I wish that was possible. Why would, if you are selling a book, let's say you are selling a book, why would you lend it to me? Because you want to make money out of it, right? So why is somebody selling a book? Because they want to get more books to read themselves. And then this idea just struck that why don't I just create, maybe connect a few people. Everybody wants to sell books, especially for kids. You want the rotation of books usually. Adults will just hold on to our books and keep them for the rest of our lives. But the kids keep outgrowing and you keep wanting more books. So I thought that how about 10 people put 10 books together, and then that's 100 books, and I'm sorted for the whole year. So I just thought of this idea and I just created so there are, I think, 3 bugs in me. Maybe call it passion, or my friends call it akira in Hindi. So I love connecting people, I love books, and I love meeting people. So because of my profession, networking has been really at my core. I'm talking to 10 to 25 new people every day for the past 20 years. So if I'm sitting at home and not meeting new people, it's like quite the opposite of what my personality is. So I think the creation of the group was a culmination of all these different bumps inside me. And my hope was if 7, 8, 10 people join, maybe I'll find 2 or 3 like-minded people, I'll find 1 or 2 friends also. That was my expectation, maximum 10 people, which would have been a very big achievement. On the day I created the group, we crossed 100 members. In 1 week, we crossed 500 members, and rest is history. In 2 years, we are right now around 9,000 members across. I have been asked this question, like you referred to that interview on Oman FM. One of my author friends, Amar, he asked me that, what's the secret to building a community? I honestly don't know. I think I had too much extra time and energy. But jokes apart, there's a lot of hard work that went into it. I had no experience of building communities. At maximum, maybe manage the society WhatsApp group. That's all that my experience in social media or community was. I hadn't been part of communities like this. I had zero experience and zero understanding of how social media works. I had only been on LinkedIn because that's what professional networking site is, and LinkedIn was the king of my social media presence with 35,000 connections maybe. So that's how, and I did not know how Facebook works, I did not know anything on Instagram. Well, I had too much time to learn, so I started learning. I just created the Facebook group and WhatsApp group, and like I said, the numbers. And my idea was that we have monthly meetups of different interest groups. So kids group, kids books, adults books, fiction, non-fiction, all of that. And every time, every person brings 1 book to the table, or maybe for kids 2 books. And with each coffee, we rotate the books around the table. So you're sorted for 12 months, In 10 or 12 months in each group, you're sorted for the year. Nobody needs to buy books. So that was my idea. I created the group on 31st March. Of course, it was 2021. So people were not meeting each other much, but still I was like, okay, the government has allowed people to meet. So we'll see who wants. 2nd April, I got COVID. So that idea never took off. But the group started to create its own identity. People were talking to each other on WhatsApp, people were talking to each other on Facebook group, and people started posting their picture of the whole shelf. Oh, come get books from me. It was amazing. It was unbelievable how everybody loved the idea of the book sharing, because everybody was feeling the same thing, that books are very expensive, and everybody who lives in Oman tries to source their books from outside. So then it was a realization, okay, I just created something for myself, but it has turned into something big. And it's not possible to just leave it, oh, okay, well, it's a book, people can do what they like. Then the professional bug inside me kind of kept biting me to do something properly, and then started with the whole management of the group's activities much more in an organized manner. And so every idea kept coming through the wonderful members that we had. Somebody would say, oh, let's do this. Great, come volunteer and do it. Somebody would say, oh, let's do a kids teens club. Oh, come and please do it. So that's how the community grows. And even my team members often joke, please don't give her an idea. We will get caught in the idea. So we started with the book sharing first. Then we said, we are called a book club. So let's do a book discussion. And as I created this, I had a long gap in my reading myself. Almost a decade of kid and office and all of that. You just don't get time. So I didn't know what was happening in the books world. I was the Dan Brown, Sydney Sheldon generation. I didn't know all these Colin Hoovers and the Instagram and the Bookstagram and the book talk. I had no clue. I started learning. And then I discovered that the online book clubs have really emerged. It's very, very common. There are so many small, big, global, local book clubs which choose the book which everybody reads, and then everybody comes together and discusses the book. Back in the day when I used to visit the book club meets with my father, it wasn't how it was. It was a more like a meeting like this, where one person would speak about the book they have read, and that was the format of book clubs back then. So there were so many book clubs where people were reading the book that the book club asked you to read, and then they would discuss that. Now that's a very serious business. What if I don't like the book? Even I don't agree with that, being an avid reader myself. So then that's the kind of impression I was getting from the members. The avid readers would be very actively talking on the group, whereas I would often get DMs from quite a few members like, oh, you know what, I don't read that much. I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys. Oh, but I don't think I'm confident talking in the group. So that's where another thing struck, because I'm very, at my core values is empathy, inclusion and diversity. I believe in professional spaces and in personal spaces. I want to make space for everyone. That's how so even for the book club itself, the group became more of an Indian group, because people I knew here were Indian, and they circulated in their friends. The first 100 members were Indians. So I made special effort to reach out to different nationalities. Even if I found one person from a different nationality, I would chase them, oh, please send it to your friends, So that the people who join, they should feel welcome. If you see 99 Indians and one from somebody else, you say this is not for me, this is for a certain group of people. So I make special effort to try and make everybody feel welcome. So going by that logic, when I started getting these DMs from people saying, oh, I am not so much into reading, oh, this, that. So then I thought of something which I haven't seen happening a lot in the bookish space, that book clubs give you a particular book to read. You may or may not enjoy it. I said we'll do something called Reading Made It Fun, which is one of our segments too, which exists, where we just give a theme. Something as simple as, this month read a red-colored book. This month read a book with a digit in its title. So even a Seven Husbands of Hugo is eligible. 365 bedtime stories is also eligible. Yeah. So the reading challenge started getting participation from all age groups. Even 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is eligible. So the wide divide between fiction readers and non-fiction readers. And if you choose a fiction book, you're upsetting the non-fiction group members. If you choose a non-fiction book, you're upsetting the fiction book readers. So I started one fiction, one non-fiction book every month. Okay, we do this also. We do the challenges also. Now what about people like me who love books, who love to talk about books, who love to talk with book lovers, but haven't read any book in the last 6 months or 6 years? There's something for them also. There's a segment called Book Lovers Connect, where we'll just choose topics as simple as, what's your favorite book? And that 1 hour, everybody will just talk about what's your favorite book, or what's an author you discovered this year, or what about, let's say, fiction versus non-fiction, the classic debate. So we usually do the debates in this segment. So try to create a space where all levels of readers, the serious readers, not so serious readers, aspiring readers, I want to love books, I don't love them yet, all kind of people are welcome, all ages are welcome. We have a toddlers club, which is where Shahid was invited to do a storytelling session with the kids. We have kids club for 6 to 12 years age group where kids run the club. They lead the meet, they plan the meet, they elect the next leader. And then we have the teens club also, the same format. So here are the 6 activities we do. Book borrowing is available, almost 8,000 books available for free borrowing, which includes the books donated to our club, hosted at my house and 25 other volunteers' house across Oman, including Salalah, Suhar, Sur, Musanna, Sinau, and 25 locations in Muscat. And individual lenders. So if you have 1 book, 2 books, 5 books which you want to offer for sharing, the books stay with you, they get added to the listing, and then people can borrow and return to you. And then we have also collaborations with bookstores. So if you want to buy books, you get discounts if you're a member. So this is all that shaped up over the last 2 years. Got wonderful opportunities to host events, showcase ourselves in different events. So that's how I think, as she mentioned, now the media has covered our group a lot. And I really doubt I'll go back to my profession because it doesn't interest me anymore. The love and respect that you gain in running such a community is unbelievable, it's incredible. So that's my little bit about my experience. Any questions? Yes.
Anisha, a quick question. So if one of the members in here wants to borrow books, wants to become a member, what are the steps they need to take?
The easiest to remember right now is Instagram Oman Book Lovers Club. No spaces, straight. Oman Book Lovers Club is the Instagram. And once you go to the link in bio, you will find everything. A registration form, a Google form, and the Facebook group is what you need to do for borrowing books. And that's it.
So once we become members, we can borrow any book from
Yes, absolutely. Anything. You can browse the books through the Facebook group. However, one of our volunteers has actually created an app which will make the book browsing like Talabat.
Wow.
So, and it's absolutely free. I don't know how long we'll be able to sustain it for free. So, from the able members here also, but we are at a stage where we need to take the club to the next level. So, I'm also exploring options with corporates maybe on how to take the club to the next level, because everything being sustained at voluntary level is getting difficult now. But yeah.
And the last point, if I may, just want to thank you and congratulate you because your own home is filled with books. So I had the privilege to go to her place. The moment you step all the way to the balcony, it's just filled with books.
Yeah, and sometimes there's no place to walk.
Yes. So thank you for providing your own personal space for the benefit of others.
So,
Thank you so much.
Anisha, like, so far it's in Oman or any other countries also?
So the online activities that I described, book discussion, reading, make fun, is being joined by people from absolutely anywhere. The physical books borrowing is physically here, but yes, I am in touch with a few people to make it a franchisee across different countries, starting from the obvious countries. You know, from here you can go to UAE, India, you can obviously start. But yeah, Oman has been easy because it's one city and country. If I were to implement the same model in India, it's far more difficult. So maybe UAE next. Because the app will then, once it becomes available on Play Store, it can become like a Goodreads or a Facebook. People can download anywhere, and our model is established. The app has all my ideas, which welcomes inclusivity and absolute transparent system of even queuing. So if she's reading a book, she's borrowed it, it's not available. Usually all the library systems will just have a system called it's available, not available. When you again come and browse, if it's available, you can take. There's no queuing mechanism anywhere. So we are also making sure that we have the queuing mechanism. If you showed interest, you will be number 1 in the queue, and so on.
So it's like only reading or audible both?
No, we have physical books.
Only.
Yeah. Audibles are all paid subscriptions. We can't do anything with that. And people were actually sharing the PDFs on the WhatsApp group, which we stopped because that's also illegal.
Yeah.
So it's only physical books which we are.
The regular sessions to meet for this reading or it's adopt these things?
No. So we have a monthly calendar. Till last year, we were all these segments that I described. We were doing 9 meets a month, which I realized was not sustainable. So now we've made it a quarterly calendar. So all the segments that I described, the book discussion will happen once a quarter, the reading made fun will happen once a quarter. We just had Book Lovers Connect yesterday, so it was more of an introductory.
This is physical or online?
All online. Right now all online because members are joining from different countries. We have people from Australia, from UK, from US. Average 30 to 40 people attending each session right now. But yes, now maybe in a quarter, one session we probably will have a coffee meet or something. But that will be more like a friendly meetup. But our events will stay online because our members are joining from different parts of the world. Largely Oman based because of the borrowing, the awareness is more in Oman. So 90% members would be probably present in Oman, but there are members from outside also.
What's your advice? They can buy books, but they should not. I start reading and then they quit. So any tips?
Join the club.
I like it.
Because I tell you what, this is exactly what
I
happens.
stop
You lose interest and then you stop, right?
Yes, yeah.
You know what I do personally? I have 4 or 5 books running at a time. I'm reading a young adult, I'm reading a heavy fiction, I'm reading a heavy non-fiction, then I'm reading a small poetry. So whatever I feel like, I'm a very mood reader. So I don't stick to a book and then, oh, I have to complete it. No. I enjoy it, I read. If I don't enjoy it, just pick another book. Reading should be for joy. You should not force yourself at any point in time. Just pick another book, try another book. That's what I recommend for kids also. The entire generation is reading Wimpy Kids, which I strongly am against. So every time the kids come to borrow books, I will say, okay, take one Wimpy Kid. Against the Wimpy Kid, you have to take 4 Enid So that's what I try to do.
The books are in which language?
90-80% I will say English because that's the common language. But we have books in all languages. I have at least how much is the
Arabic,
album?
French,
Arabic, of course,
Hindi.
we have like 2 cartons of collection.
We also have
A
Turkish.
lot of European languages. So almost 500 books right now in different languages, including Arabic. We have a very good collection for kids and adults in Arabic as well. It's located at Azeva, the Arabic collection.
Yes, I have 2 questions.
I have some French also.
French and Turkish.
I have 2 questions for you. First of all, I would like to thank you. I can see the passion, Your energy is really contagious. I was talking to my friend and commenting about so God bless. My first question is now, currently I'm moving to the audiobooks. So what do you think? Is it the same energy? Because of the time and the stress while we're driving, and I used to read books physically.
Yeah.
But now because of the time and social media,
I
I'm
agree.
stressed. But I play these audiobooks in my car. This is my first question. My second question,
Yes.
so then you can ask. You still work for the headhunting company?
I know
Back to my first question.
I was freelancing with a couple of recruitment companies for the past 1 year. I think
No more?
earning money is
One
also
more
not
client.
more motivation for me than running the book club. So, sorry, you were saying?
So my question is
About the audiobooks.
Yes. What do you
So
think?
I'll tell you my personal thing. I'm a very traditional person.
Fair enough.
I have not been able to adapt to audiobooks myself. Being such a heavy reader, missing my books, I don't have a Kindle in my house. I tried to read a few PDFs on the tab or phone. No. So that is just my choice. I don't enjoy. In fact, I've been trying to get myself adapted to audiobooks because people say that they're able to use their time.
Yes.
While doing something, you can
Exactly.
listen to the book. So that's very good. My husband is doing audiobooks also because he's driving 2 hours, once a week. So he's also very used to it. I personally don't enjoy it because I feel, how we say Harry Potter made into movie is boring because, it just loses its charm.
Lot of details.
So I feel when I tried audiobooks, I felt that audiobook was half the way till there because, whatever you imagine while reading, half of it is done in audiobook. So I didn't enjoy it, but it's a very good, I think non-fiction is actually very useful to use your time while driving, to listen to audiobooks because the knowledge is going in your head.
Yes.
But I personally could never focus on audiobook. I just could not get used to it. I have to read.
Fair enough.
So,
Thank you.
but if you're used to it, it's very good because at least you're consuming some useful content.
Indeed. Thank you.
But personally, I feel the skills that reading, actual task of reading a paper book, the skills that helps you gain, nothing can match that. Because your concentration, your focus, your vocabulary, your everything, reading, nothing matters. So sorry, but